The power of not seeking validation. In a world where appearances often overshadow substance, where our worth seems to hinge on the judgments of others, we find ourselves navigating a landscape of expectations and conformity. From the moment we enter this world, society hands us a blueprint, a prescribed path promising happiness and success, if we only follow its rules. We are told to seek approval, to fit in, and to measure our achievements by the standards others set for us. But what if the key to true freedom lies not in conforming to these expectations, but in breaking away from them entirely? The trap of validation. Validation is the currency of our age. We chase likes, followers, promotions, and praise as if they are the ultimate markers of success. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek approval, to believe that our value is measured by how others see us. We are taught that the more we are accepted by the crowd, the more successful we are. But here's the harsh truth. Seeking validation from others is a trap. It's a never-ending cycle that leaves us feeling empty, anxious, and perpetually dependent on the approval of people who may never truly see our worth. When we base our happiness on external validation, we give away our power. We let others dictate our value, and we end up living a life that isn't even ours. Think about it. How often do we sacrifice our own desires, our own dreams, just to fit in, just to be liked, just to avoid criticism? The pursuit of validation is a losing game because the rules are always changing. What is praised today might be ridiculed tomorrow. The only way to win is to stop playing. When we stop seeking validation, we reclaim our lives. We start living for ourselves, for our own goals, our own passions. We realize that true confidence doesn't come from others. It comes from within. And that realization is where the journey of true fulfillment begins. Setting your own standards. To live authentically, we must set our own standards. We must define success on our own terms, not by what others expect, but by what resonates with our soul. This isn't about rejecting everyone else. It's about honoring ourselves. When we set our own standards, we are no longer swayed by the opinions of others. We become the authors of our own story. We decide what matters and what doesn't. And that's where true power lies. Not in the fleeting applause of the crowd, but in the quiet knowledge that we're living a life that is true to who we are. True fulfillment comes from within. It's built on the foundation of self-respect and integrity. When we stop seeking approval, we start creating for ourselves. We start building a life that reflects our deepest values, our truest passions, and our highest goals. Success isn't about meeting society's expectations. It's about meeting our own. It's about waking up each day and knowing that we are living a life that is aligned with who we are. This is the essence of self-determination, living by our own rules, setting our own course, and achieving what matters to us, not what others think should matter. And when we live by our own standards, something incredible happens. We find peace. The anxieties and pressures that once weighed us down begin to fade away. Because we're no longer chasing an ever-elusive goal of approval, we're living with purpose, with clarity, and with a sense of fulfillment that can only come from within. The power of solitude and self-mastery. Solitude is not something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. In solitude, we find ourselves. It's in those quiet moments, away from the noise, that we truly connect with who we are, what we want, and what we need to grow. Solitude is the fertile ground where self-mastery is cultivated. In solitude, we learn to listen to our own voice, to trust our instincts, and to master our mind. We learn that our greatest competition is not out there, it's within. And in that realization lies the path to true mastery. Self-mastery isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves, not because someone else expects us to, but because we desire it. It's about setting goals that challenge us, push us, and ultimately, fulfill us. The beauty of self-mastery is that it's a journey, not a destination. It's a lifelong pursuit, one that is deeply rewarding because it is driven by our own standards, our own values, and our own desires. As we continue to grow, to push beyond our limits, we realize that the journey itself is the reward. Each step forward, each obstacle overcome, brings us closer to our true selves, living authentically and finding true fulfillment. When we stop seeking validation from others, we free ourselves to live authentically. We no longer waste energy trying to be someone we're not. Instead, we invest that energy into becoming who we were always meant to be. Living authentically means being true to ourselves, even when it's difficult, even when it goes against the grain. True fulfillment isn't found in the applause of others. It's found in the quiet moments when we realize that we are living a life that's true to us, a life that reflects our values, our passions, and our purpose. This is the ultimate reward of not seeking validation, finding peace in who we are and what we do. So what does it mean to live authentically? It means embracing our uniqueness, our quirks, and our flaws. It means standing firm in our beliefs, even when others disagree. It means pursuing our passions, even when the world tells us to take a different path. And it means finding joy in the journey, not just the destination. Living authentically is a radical act in a world that constantly tries to make us conform. But it's also the most fulfilling act. Because when we live for ourselves, we discover that the only approval we ever needed was our own. So stop chasing validation. Stop letting others define your worth. Instead, set your own standards, embrace solitude, and commit to the lifelong journey of self-mastery. When you do, you'll find that the only approval you ever needed was your own. The path forward, embracing your true self. As we move forward in life, the temptation to seek validation from others will always be there. It's ingrained in us from a young age, reinforced by the society we live in. But by understanding the traps of external validation and the power of living authentically, we can begin to break free from these constraints. The path to true freedom and fulfillment is not an easy one. It requires courage to step away from the crowd, to embrace solitude, and to listen to our own inner voice. It requires discipline to stay true to our own standards, to pursue our passions with unwavering determination, and it requires self-love to accept ourselves fully, with all our strengths and flaws. But the rewards are worth it. By living authentically, we unlock a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment that cannot be achieved by chasing the approval of others. We become the creators of our own destiny, shaping our lives according to our values and aspirations. So take a moment to reflect on your own life. Are you living according to your own standards, or are you still seeking validation from others? Are you pursuing your true passions, or are you following a path that others have laid out for you? Are you embracing your unique self, or are you trying to fit into a mold that doesn't reflect who you truly are? If the answers to these questions reveal that you are still caught in the trap of validation, know that it's never too late to change. Start by setting your own standards, by defining success on your own terms. Embrace solitude as a means of self-discovery and growth. And most importantly, commit to the journey of self-mastery, knowing that it is a lifelong pursuit, but one that will bring you closer to your true self with each passing day. Remember, the only approval you need is your own. This is your life. Make it your own. Conclusion: the journey of self-mastery. The journey of self-mastery is not a linear one. There will be challenges along the way, moments of doubt, and times when the temptation to seek external validation becomes overwhelming. But by staying true to your own standards, by embracing solitude, and by committing to the process of self-discovery and growth, you will find that the rewards far outweigh the difficulties. Each step you take on this journey brings you closer to living a life that is authentically yours. Each challenge you overcome strengthens your resolve and deepens your understanding of yourself. And each moment of solitude allows you to reconnect with your true desires and aspirations. So as you continue on this path, remember to celebrate your progress. Acknowledge the strides you've made, the obstacles you've overcome, and the growth you've experienced. And know that with each passing day, you are becoming more aligned with your true self. In a world that often values conformity over authenticity, choosing to live life on your own terms is a radical act. But it is also the most fulfilling and empowering choice you can make. By rejecting the need for external validation and embracing the journey of self-mastery, you are claiming your right to live a life that is true to who you are. So, take the first step today. Set your own standards, embrace solitude, and commit to the lifelong journey of self-mastery. When you do, you'll find that the only approval you ever needed was your own. This is your life. Make it your own. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more content that empowers you to live life on your terms. Remember, the only approval you need is your own.